To another burst edition of the Purple Rain podcast. This is the fourth of our special burst shows to recap the Takeover Tour. As you can see, this time I am on my own. I said at the start of the tour, I'm going to say it now at the halfway point, PWHL, we need mascots. We need team mascots, we really do. Oh my god. Okay, so Quebec City. Oh boy. Okay, so the thing you need to know about this game is that this game actually was announced way before the tour was official. This was originally announced as a neutral site game that was going to happen between the Victoire and the Charge, and it was like, okay, fine. Yeah, and we were just ready for it. And then we were not surprised when the Takeover Tour was announced that it got put on the tour, because it kind of made sense. It's an actual neutral site city, you may as well just add it onto the tour. Yeah. So we knew that Quebec was going to be happening on the cards this season. We knew it was planned for the tour. And we were expecting a big crowd, and unfortunately, a big crowd is what we got. Now I will get the schematics for the Videotron Centre up. So I want to double check those numbers. Now I've not told already what the attendance number was yet. I'm going to have to start after the show. Yeah, but this one we were thinking, ooh, what's the turnout going to be like? Because if it's big, then Quebec are going to use that to try and, you know, launder a team. Because right, we'll get out of the way now, and then we'll talk about the game. For the past 30 years, Quebec have been desperate to get a professional hockey team back. Okay, they did try actually 10 years ago in 2015. Now, a lot of you back in 2015 will remember that Quebec did also apply alongside Vegas. Everyone remembers Vegas' application, and that went down well. But Quebec also in that year also did try to get an expansion team as well, and the idea was they were going to bring the Quebec Nordiques back, like how what we saw in Winnipeg with the Jets. That was the plan. But of course, the AHL, they shut that down. They didn't take that further because they didn't think it was viable. It's not viable. I don't think Quebec can still work anymore. No. So the capacity the Videotron Centre can hold is about 18,259. So that's basically a good capacity for an NHL venue, but apparently it's not permanent. So they would need to. So Quebec says we've got this arena, but your capacity is not set in stone. You need your capacity set in stone as well. It's no good just saying you've got this lovely shiny arena. You also need to basically, you know, prove that your capacity could be stable 99 out. Yeah. But Quebec, they've been like literally, they've been like a dog on the bone, and it's just like I can't bear it. I've got nothing personal against Quebec City. I've got nothing personal. It's just I care a lot about this league. I've been involved with this league since day one last year. Okay. I want this league to grow. Obviously, I want to expand into new markets, but only when the time is right. I still can't believe the PHL is potentially looking at getting it done for this time next year. I still can't believe that. When it comes to expansion, I want markets that are going to be in this league for the right reasons. I don't think Quebec are. I think Quebec have thought, right, we've tried with the NHL several times, they've said no, let's go for the next best thing, which is this brand new professional women's league and they might take us on. I just think, no, that's not right. I don't... Quebec are clearly want to get a team to basically fill the gigantic shaped hole they still have not managed to fill for the last 30 years. In fact, it was 30 years ago this season that was the last season in the Quebec Nordiques. Quebec, in the words of the great Hannah Montana, build a bridge and get over it! Alright, it was 30 years ago. Alright, come on, stop it. It's enough now. Okay. I don't think Quebec will be in this league for the right reasons. I don't. Because I want markets to be in this league who care about the game, who care about women's hockey, want to grow women's hockey. Quebec, I want to be able to go, look, we've got a professional sports team back. So I'm sorry, Quebec, but to me, you're not here for the right reasons. You're not. So that is why I would say no to putting a team in Quebec. Another thing, and me and the entire public, we would talk about this in the build-up to this game over the weekend. We also felt that the proximity to Montreal is also a bit of a stumbling block, because literally, Quebec City is literally right next door to Montreal. And we just kind of, as a trio, we kind of only felt that really, that too close proximity, it's not really ideal, it's not really going to work. So, that was another reason why we don't think that Quebec should be given a team, because it'd be too close to the Big 12. The Big 12 already got a stranglehold on that province, so there's no point trying to then put something into as a direct competitor at all. It's just not. I mean, obviously you've got the two Ontario teams in Toronto as well, but they're not so next door to each other, whereas Montreal and Quebec would be. Yeah. So I personally would not want Quebec to get a team. I don't think it should happen. I still don't think they should get one in the AHL. And also, financially, is the Quebec market stable? Because that was one of the problems back in 1995. So, yeah. No, but yeah, so I was kind of not looking forward to this stuff, the Takeover Tour, because I knew that Quebec would try and use it to go, look, this is what we can do. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to take more than that to convince people you should get a team back. Okay? It's going to take more than that. Yeah. So we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to recap the game. We'll go through quotes, notables, and at the end of it, I'll give you my final thoughts on Quebec as a whole. Although I can't probably have to. Alright, and so Quebec officially marks the end of the first half of the Takeover Tour. Can you believe we're already halfway through the Takeover Tour already? Four stops down. 5 more still to go. But for Montreal, that's it. You're done. You're done. You're finished. That was it. That was Montreal's 4th and final stop on the Takeover Tour. Now, I did basically said to the lady, I kind of feel a bit sorry for Montreal. And they were like, why? Well, because basically they've had all their Takeover Tour games done back to back to back to back. They're in Seattle, then Vancouver, and then Seattle-Vancouver was not that long of a turnaround. It was only 3 days. They went from Vancouver to Denver, which was a total of 4 days, and then they've been in Quebec City. So that's all 4 of their Takeover Tour games wiped out. Done and dusted in 1 month. Montreal only had 4 stops to Takeover Tour, and they've all been in this first half of the tour. Everyone else has got still at least 1 more to go on the stop. Interestingly though, New York, they barely got started. New York have not been in the first half of this Takeover Tour. Everyone else has, not New York. Then the second half. But people are like, why? Why feel sorry for them? It's like, because if I was a Big 12 fan, I would want these games to have been spread out. I would not want to all be doing one big go. I'd rather have more spread out, you know. But you could argue, of course, that Montreal does get the opportunity to then play a neutral site game in the Canadiens barn, which I think they have got some point coming up in the season. So, and they also got to play at the Senators barn in what was a Charge neutral site home game back at the start of the season. So technically, Montreal's about 6 neutral site. We'll have about 6 neutral site at the end of the season. But anyway, but I kind of felt it's sorry for Big 12. They've got all theirs done. And yet they're going to have to watch their second half. They're going to have to watch teams in Edmonton, Buffalo, Raleigh, Detroit, and St. Louis, and go, oh, I might like to be in one of those sites. If you get what I mean. But yeah. So crazy. It's crazy that all Montreal's games have been wiped out in the first half of this Takeover Tour, and yet there's still a lot of Takeover Tour hockey to go. Yeah. So that's right. So we'll go over the game. So yeah. So another close regulation win for the Victoire over the Charge. I believe that was the scoreline when they played the Sens barn back in December. 2-1 regulation win for Montreal. So for us Frost fans, that makes last week's games sting even more. It was not a great week for the Frost last week. And oh boy, were the entire Pepper Trio, we were all like literally dissecting that. Yeah, so the Victoire are now back in first place. Yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be. I just feel like it's either gonna be us or Victoire that are gonna be the first in the league. Ottawa, my hope it's not the Victoire because I think they might get picked as their semi-final opponents. Yeah, Ottawa's not done well against Montreal yet. They've yet to get a win over Montreal. But they have come close, Ottawa, in all three. It's just they're not able to complete the full 60 minutes. Anyway, so the Montreal Victoire are moving into sole possession of first place in the PWHL standings after securing a 2-1 regulation win over the Ottawa Charge in front of a sold-out crowd of, oh my god, 18,259 at Videotron Centre. Yeesh. In the fourth game of the PWHL Takeover Tour. After a scoreless first period, Quebec City native Catherine Dubois opened the scoring in front of her hometown crowd late in the second period, giving Montreal a 1-0 lead. Heading into the final frame, Sharon D'Arcangelo responded with a tip-in goal midway through the third period to equalise the score, but the Victoire regained the lead just 4 minutes later with a power play goal from defender Katy Tabin. Despite ample empty net chances, the Charge hoped to force extra time. Well, overtime, I should say, really. Who wrote that report? It's overtime! It's overtime! Overtime! It's not extra time! It's not soccer! Overtime! As the Charge hoped to force overtime, the Victoire summoned Ottawa's late comeback hopes to secure the 2-1 regulation win. Avenue Lesbian secured her 6th win in 8 starts for the Victoire, stopping 26 of 27 shots faced. At the other end of the ice, Ottawa netminder Emma Matchmeyer stopped 33 of 35 shots in her 9th start of the season. Okay, so let's go to the quotes now. So we have Catherine Dubois, who scored the first goal in her hometown. That's what to say. In my wildest dreams, I could never have imagined such a scenario. It's a really special game, and I'm really lucky to be living these moments. When I jumped on the ice, I couldn't see anything because my eyes were full of tears. I tried to calm down a bit. My legs were heavier and my heart was beating faster than usual. I will now hear from Victoire captain Marie-Philippe Poulain. It's crazy to see so many young girls in the stands who can dream of a professional career when there was virtually nothing for girls not so long ago. And to see how far we've come. It's our motivation every day to train and play for these youngsters. Okay, we'll go to Ottawa now. We're going to hear from Ottawa's Emma's Matchmeyer on the Ottawa exploding during player presentations. I had chills all over my body, specifically when they mentioned Marie for them. I was like, this is insane. The energy was so incredible. I looked at Gabby Hughes beside me and said, this is amazing. So the energy that was brought today, it was a dream to play in front of these bands. And the final quote will come from Charge head coach Carla McLeod on Quebec's... have I got to read this one? Have I got to? Alright, fine. On Quebec's hopes of getting a team, the community is ready for it. And what a community this is. From the hotel staff out to the community we visited, everyone was so nice. We went to have poutine? Is that what it's called? We were in Quebec, so why wouldn't we? And then there's an exclamation times 10 with crowd we had today. I'm grateful that I'm not the one at the league making the choice of where expansion will go, but every community has risen to the opportunity in this takeover tour. We're thrilled to be part of it. There is no doubt that this is a hockey-centric area and that a team would be supported if they got one. I can only imagine the rivalry between the Canadians and Nordiques back in the day. Max Meyer and me from Alberta, we live it with Edmonton and Calgary. Okay, can I just say though, before we get to the notables, we don't know if the two expansion teams are going to be for the Takeover Tour. Okay. We know that there are at least 25 markets in contention. It could be more. There's at least 25, we know. That's the number I heard before the season started. Back on the last November. So, we don't know if the two sites that will get expansion teams, we don't know they're going to be on the Takeover Tour. It could be. That for me is why tracking these attendance figures is so key. Because if these two expansion teams are going to be for the Takeover Tour, then you've got to be proving that you showed up and showed out and made the most opportunity. Otherwise, there's no point. We don't know for certain it could be the Takeover Tour. I mean, for me, I think Vancouver should be given a team based on the Takeover Tour. And I think Denver wants it the most, not because it was one of my frost skate. I think Denver wants it the most. I mean, Denver, and that's not to take anything away from Vancouver, Quebec, and Seattle, but Denver, they showed out to a women's hockey game on the same day as an NFL game. Okay, there was an NFL game being played in Denver at the exact same time as the Bros taking on the Victoire, and yet we still saw in Denver the record for women's attendance broken. So I think for me, Denver right now, out of the four markets of this first half, for me, Denver wants it the most. Denver wants it the most because they showed up despite the fact there was other sports events that are more established that they could have gone to. I think Denver wants it the most. Okay, I think Denver wants it the most. So we don't know if it's going to be from the Takeover Tour. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be two for the Takeover Tour. I wouldn't be surprised, but be prepared for the possibility that other markets could be put in play. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So for all we know, the two expansion teams could be easily two markets that didn't get a Takeover Tour game. It could be two markets that don't hold NHL cities. It could happen. It could happen. I mean, Milwaukee, for example, could be a potential option. So just brace yourself. But we don't know. I think right. I think the mistake everyone's making, right, and no disrespect to Ottawa's head coach there, especially because we're seeing them next. But I think the mistake everyone's making is everyone's assuming that the 2 expansion teams are going to be for the Takeover Tour. Everyone's making that assumption. That's the mistake we're all making. It might not be the case. Okay, it might not be the case. Alright? But bear in mind. If you ask me, my heart says Vancouver, Denver, but my head is saying Detroit, Denver. And that's just because I know Detroit is going to pack out again when they get their next Takeover Tour game, which will be on the 16th of March, when we're going to be taking on the Sirens. So that's how I thought about expansion. Yeah, anyway. It still doesn't, for me, it still doesn't feel right that we're talking about expansion when New York is in a complete state. It's still not viable. So I think it's crazy we're talking about expansion when you've got a market of New York or 6 that's not reaching its full potential. Anyway, okay, so I'm on to the notables now. So there we go. So let's start. Okay, so working there. Okay. So the sellout crowd of 18,259 is the second highest attendance figure of the season, and it's the second highest for a PWHL Takeover Tour game, with Vancouver's between Montreal and Toronto on during the 8th, the only game this season to surpass today's attendance total with 19,038 fans in the crowd. Can I just say to those watching Quebec, I don't think you're going to hold that for long. I've got a very high chance that Edmonton is pretty much sold out, and Edmonton can host a bit more than what Quebec did. So I think Edmonton, which is the next stop, will take second place, and then Quebec will get bumped down to third. And I think, is Edmonton the last Canadian stop on the tour? Can I just quickly double check that? Yes, so Edmonton's the last stop on the Takeover Tour for the Canadian cities. So only 3 Canadian cities will put on the Takeover Tour, and 2 they've got AHL teams in the Pacific Coast. Okay, right. Yeah, so I think Edmonton will take a second place, but we'll see how that goes, because that is definitely sold out. Cathy Dubois scored the game's opening goal in front of her hometown crowd, including more than 100 fans and friends. Sorry, 100 family and friends. Sorry, what tongue tied there? So including more than 100 family and friends. You know, they made a really big hype about how people are struggling to get tickets because the Montreal players are literally giving up to their friends and family left, right, and centre. Yeah, come on. Stop egging this on, for God's sake. The Victoire forward, who grew up just 5 minutes away from Videotron Centre, now has 2 goals on the season and 3 points in as many games. Avenue Lesbiennes she now moves into a tie with New York's Corinne Schroeder for most wins on the season. The Victoire have scored 2 power play goals in each of their last 2 contests, and have found the score sheet on the advantage in 3 consecutive games. Montreal is 5 for 12 during this 3-game stretch, and now leads the league with the most power play goals. Cathy Sabin recorded her first goal and assist of the season for her first multi-point performance of her PHL career. 6 of the Montreal defenders' 8 career points have come against Ottawa. And Ambrose tallied her team leading 7th and 8th assists of the season in her second consecutive multi-point game. The Montreal defender recorded 3 helpers in his previous game against Minnesota, and is now tied for second in the league for most assists on the season. Abby Barine recorded her 3rd assist of the season for the Victoire and shares the team lead in points with 8 alongside Ambrose. Emma's Majmaya recorded her league high 5th 30-plus save game of the season for the Charge. She made 33 saves in the contest. No netminder has more than one 30-plus save performance this season. Montreal's won 7 of 8 all-time meetings against Ottawa, including all 3 games so far this season. There's still 3 more to go. Hang in there, Charge, hang in there. Montreal knows how you feel. They couldn't get a single win against the Scepters last year, so hang in there, girls, hang in there. Desbiens became the first netminder this season to record a penalty. It can happen. Netminders can get paralyzed. We've seen the NHL plenty of times. She got called for interference midway through the first period. Both of her 2 career penalties have come against Ottawa, with the first being a delayed game call last season. It was the only win Ottawa's got so far in all-time meetings. Shinan D'Arcangelo scored her team-leading 4th goal of the season. I have pronounced it right that time. For the Charge, and is now tied for 2nd most in the league in the category. There are currently 7 players in the PHL that are tied with 5 goals apiece. Stephanie Markowski recorded her 3rd assist of the season for Ottawa. Her 2nd this season against the Victoire. The rookie is tied for 2nd for most points among Charge defenders with 3. Dinty Rose returned to the lineup for the Charge after missing the last 3 games due to injury. She recorded 1746 on the ice and leads Charge defenders with 5 points in 8 games this season. Marie Philippe recorded a season-high 21-18 in terms of on-ice time for the Victoire. Charge defender Dawson Leroc led all players in ice time at 24:07. 4 Quebec-born players were featured in today's starting lineup for the Victoire, including Pauline Dubois and Alexandra Laval, alongside Desbiens between the pipes. Mario Renier read the starting lineup for today's game. The Quebec City native recorded the shutout victory in Canada's 3-0 win over the USA at the Under-18 World Juniors not too long ago, actually. Remhart's assistant general manager, Nicole Bouchard, was invited to read the Victoire starting lineup. Montreal and Ottawa wore specialty jerseys this afternoon in partnership with Molson. Jerseys featured the players' names are at the bottom, with the Molson logo placed where the regular name bar would be, which often covered by some players' long hair. The jerseys were worn earlier this season by Montreal and Toronto in Vancouver at that Takeover Tour stop, and they were worn in 4 other games across Canada this season. So keep an eye out on Edmonton next stop. Ottawa will play in the 5th game of the Videotron Takeover Tour in Edmonton. That's the next stop for the 16th. The Charge will be the home team. Let me just double check that. Yes, the Charge will be the home team for that game, and they'll be taking on the Toronto Scepters. Yeah, did I do it again? Did I forgot to mention the dates and the start again? Oh, yeah. For this game on January the 19th, you are Ottawa with a designated road team, Montreal with a designated home team. Okay, that's how it works. Yeah, but Ottawa will play the 5th Takeover Tour game. They'll host Toronto in Edmonton on the 16th of February. And they'll also play in the 7th stop. That will be in Raleigh, where they'll be taking on our Frost. That will be on March the 7th. And they'll also be taking on the Boston Fleet in the final stop of the Takeover Tour on March 29 in St. Louis. So they did it on, who's hosting for that one? There'll be the road team for that one. There'll be the road team for that one. So like Montreal, Ottawa's got 4 stops. They're the home team for one of them. Okay. That's not a bad deal though. For Ottawa though. There you go. There you go. For Montreal though, that's it. They're done. They're done. Their Takeover Tour 2025 is done and dusted. That's it. They're done. And they might have a new game class belt at some point. I don't know. That just leaves us to finish off with the 3 stars of the game. And they are as follows. The 3rd star for the Victoire and Renee Desmiens, 26 out of 27 saves. The 2nd star for the Charge, Emma's Matchmeyer, 33 out of 35 saves. And the 1st star for the Victoire, Catherine Dubois, 1 goal. Okay, so that leaves us to final thoughts on this Takeover Tour game. I have to say, okay, the showdown, fair dues. No one can argue that Quebec didn't show out. Okay, fair dues. But so has Seattle, so has Vancouver, so has Denver. So if Quebec wants to get in the action, they're going to need to do more than just show up for one neutral site game. I mean, it's going to take a lot of convincing to convince me that Quebec should get a professional team in any form of hockey league. Okay, but as go back to what I said at the start of the show, I only want markets to come into this league for the right reasons, and I just think Quebec's not. It's just not. Because I can imagine what would happen if Quebec gets this expansion team. Everyone would expect to call them the Nordies, and I think that would just be a great big insult to us inaugural 6, who took an entire season to work out what the names and brands should be. You know, so it's like, seriously? If you want to do that, then just go and keep pestering Gary Bettman. He'll come eventually. It's just you need to wait for Arizona to get an arena. So if that's what you want to do, then I would just say go and keep pestering Gary Bettman until he finally snaps and goes, FIRE! Have it! So he'll snap eventually. He will. You keep I mean, look what happened with Utah. They kept pushing him, and then eventually went, FINE! Have one in your cow shed! Just make sure there's a lot of booze on standbys. Okay, so he'll crack. So we see it in the last year that Gary Bettman can be cracked eventually. This takes a lot of worrying out. So if that's your plan, Quebec, then just go and pester him. Don't pester us. Go and pester him. Okay? We don't want that. We don't want that. We want markets that are going to be able to come up with something new and something unique, and not just take something from the park that's not there anymore. Don't want that. Yeah. So I can't deny Quebec did show out, but so far everybody else on the Takeover Tour, everyone else so far has shown out. So Quebec, you're going to need to do something differently to try and convince people that you deserve to be put in the conversation. Because right now, I don't think they should be in the conversation. For me, it's going to be Detroit, Denver, Vancouver, possibly Seattle, possibly Edmonton. Those are the markets I should look at and think they should be considered for expansion right now. The rest should, I don't know, just better luck next time maybe. Yeah, so it's hard. It's tough because it's like, who deserves to get a team? Who can offer the most? It's just. Plus, has Quebec got a track record of women's programs? That's another big question mark as well. That's another criteria you need in mind for eyes to get on in this league. Must have see. We will have to see. Yeah. So I can't deny that Quebec's showed up. It's happened, it's done, great, we can move on. And hopefully we'll have to kick them again too soon. Yeah, but I think Quebec, you're going to need to do a little bit more if you want to try to convince people that you should be put in the conversation. I think you should. If it was up to me, and I was thinking maybe giving one to Canada, it would not be Quebec. It would probably be either Vancouver or Edmonton to fight it out. I think Edmonton's going to be very interesting because Edmonton, like Vancouver, who's next stop, Edmonton's next stop away. It's interesting if Edmonton packs out as well as Vancouver. Now, if it does, then I think for me, that should be a sign to the PWHL that teams in the Pacific Coast could work. Now, I'm not just saying that because I've got 16 years of being with San Jose under my belt. I'm not just saying that, okay? But yeah, obviously, I can see right now why the PHL would be hesitant to go to the Pacific Coast because of the logistics in terms of the travel, the time differences, the zone, and also the competitiveness. I can certainly see why. But if Edmonton packs up just like Vancouver does, then I think that would be the proof that the Pacific Coast could work. It might be you have to go Vancouver, Edmonton in one expansion round to put them in. That would be how it would work. We'll see. Yeah, but okay, Quebec. You definitely got a high action-packed game with a really tight, close. Every game so far between these two sides has been very close. The first one ended in a shootout, and the other two have been like one goal regulation wins for the Big 12. So despite the Big 12 got all 3 wins so far in this regular season series, Ottawa's been in the thick of it. Ottawa has been banging on the door, just not able to find a way to finish it off. Anyway. I was always, for this stop, I was always going to have very mixed feelings because I don't think Quebec should be in. I don't think Quebec should get it, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, it's done. It's dusted. It's done. It's done. It's done. Quebec, thank you very much. Next stop, Edmonton.